Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, in life they say an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So that is now what has now led to the position where Obasanjo, who had been declared hitherto as persona non grata by the entirety of the Yoruba race, is now being brought back into the fold to address an existential threat that the Yoruba people are confronting. Guys, I bring you this: insecurity. Obasanjo Afenifere leaders meet in Lagos, discuss way forward for the Southwest. So the Malam Buhari and his Cabal, they are quite clear in their position. They have said frontally to the Yorubas, unequivocal and unambiguous, that they are out to subsume and consume the Yorubas and dominate them in perpetuity. So the positioning of the cabals and the Buhari Jamdawid collective, their position is quite clear. But now the thing that they are now saying to the Yorubas is surrender or respond. So surrender or respond is now where the Yorubas are positioned, and how that response is now put forth is what this convergence is now being collated to present as, again, insecurity. Obasanjo Afenifere leaders meet in Lagos, discuss way forward for the Southwest. So now let's now see what the Yoruba position is. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba Land Gani Adams, and some leaders of Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere met in Lagos on Wednesday over the challenge of insecurity facing the Southwest. The meeting was held at the residence of Afenifere leader Pa Ayo Adebanjo in Lekki, which was also attended by the Afenifere National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Yinka Odumakun. According to a correspondent, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò lamented the insecurity in Yoruba land, which he said threatens the livelihood of the people of the Southwest. According to a source, the meeting was at the instance of Obasanjo to discuss the future of Yoruba land following the rising wave of insecurity in the country. Afenifere, the pan-Yoruba social-cultural group, had recently condemned the rising cases of insecurity in the region following the murder of a first-class traditional ruler in Ondo State, Oba Israel Adewusi. Several kidnapping cases were last week recorded in the region, with Afenifere declaring that enough is enough and calling for a change in the security architecture of the country. The spokesman of Afenifere, Odumakun, said the meeting was also to reconcile former President Obasanjo and Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Thankfully, we have reconciled them, and we also looked at other issues critical and germane to Yoruba interest within Nigeria, he said. So an enemy of my enemy is my friend is the position now, because a lot of Yoruba people have not really counted Obasanjo as being amongst one of their own, because Obasanjo, of course, always has this predilection of leaning towards the north, claiming that it's a pan-Nigerian person and pandering to the whims and caprices of the Malamis. But then, of course, the Malamis have completely rejected him now, and Buhari especially has now stripped him of his garment of invincibility, and is now a figure of mockery, to the point that the likes of Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu are now the people coming out in the public space to mock the name of Obasanjo. So he has now retraced his step to his original source, which is, of course, the Yoruba land. And because it's not that the Yoruba people are especially forgiving, but as I said, we are confronted with an existential threat, and all of the tools in our armory has to be deployed to face this thing frontally. And one of the more potent tools, whether we like it or not, whether we like him or not, one of the more potent tools in the armory of the Yoruba race is, of course, Obasanjo. So Obasanjo has now been brought back in-house, and he has been sat down and cosseted and cocooned and cotton-wooled, and he has been hugged and loved to say, now you are one of our own, and no matter how much you lean towards these people, they would never accept you as one of theirs, and you are not indeed one of theirs, but you are one of us. So now we are confronted with an existential threat now. You have the potency of being a former president of this space and a military man as well. So your contribution is of immense value to this now position that we need to adopt. So you now come to that meeting now, to these meetings that we are going to be having subsequently and going forward, to form a Yoruba voice that has a singularity, because you do need that purpose within the greater structure that is Nigeria. Conversations in the comment section. Obasanjo has been brought in-house to address the existential threat that is being presented by Malam Buhari and the Janjaweed. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come tell me then what you are making of this now realignment of the Yoruba race to reposition themselves to confront this existential threat that is being presented by Malam Buhari and his tribesmen. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.